Today on the Social Investing Network, LeBron James, arguably the GOAT of the NBA, has officially become a billionaire while still playing in the NBA. We'll take a look at how he did it, if this will be a more common thing in the future, and what you can learn from his investment strategies.
Plus, The Weeknd will be releasing NFTs for fans who are joining his world tour next year. This will be the first Web3 dedicated world tour. Can he pull it off, or is he going to be blinded by the light of NFT money?
And speaking of musicians and NFTs, we have the one and only Sir Mix-a-Lot on the show today talking about BitButts, a new NFT project helping colorectal cancer. It's Monday, June 6th. Subscribe below, hit the notification bell. Now let's get into it. Our guest today really needs no introduction. He's a singer, rapper, and producer, but definitely known for his hit single, Baby Got Back, which inspired an NFT project, BitButts, that will help fund research for colorectal cancer. For today's Fresh Mints, please welcome Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot, thank you for joining the show today.
All right, how you doing?
I am doing well. So today we really my first question I wanted to get into is, this year marks the 30th anniversary of Baby Got Back. You said this project is to commemorate that. So how did this BitButts project get started?
Oddly enough, I was working on another project, which I'm still on also, which a gentleman created a beautiful piece of art that represents what Baby Got Back was about. It really wasn't about butts. That's not what the song was actually about, but people that figured it out, he did something really nice for it. And in the meantime, I met Mark Wolf, and he had this project called BitButts. And, initially I was like, okay, could be just what everybody else does. And then when he talked about the tide of colorectal cancer, I lost my sister to breast cancer, which is obviously not colorectal cancer. But when I found out that colorectal cancer was the least funded of all the cancers, and 1 out of every 25 women will get it, and 1 out of every 23 men will get it, I thought about it. I'm like, why is this the least funded? And I thought it would be probably a good look. Obviously, with the market kind of tanking a little bit right now, everybody's kind of terrified to do drops, I guess.
You make it such a good point. So that's a good point. But why did you decide to form an NFT project to raise awareness? You could have done multiple things with your brand, but you decided to go the NFT route rather than donations or another way. Why is that?
Because I believe the whole sitting on the internet and doing the feel sorry for me thing, I think it's been overdone, and there's so many scams that happen that way. And I thought this would be a very bear all kind of, it is what it is. No BS. I'm not going to tolerate it. They're not going to tolerate it. And I thought it would be a genuine way to give back and not look, because the perception is when an older artist does something, they're desperate. And that's not the case. We love art. We love art. And this is what I'm doing, and I'm having fun with it. And hopefully it'll catch on. Hopefully more people will do stuff like this.
You make such a good point. This is what it is. And if you look at some of the holder benefits, like the top tier, there's obviously multiple tiers. The value for $1,000 for the 33 mix butts, it seems like it's pretty cool. You get to be an airdrop for free to 33 random selective holders. There's other tiers. One is a signature kind of commemoration from you. What can fans expect? We mentioned a little bit about what can fans expect when they purchase a BitButt?
Some of these things are absolutely hilarious. And by the way, none of this stuff was generated by computer. Each one of these 6,666 were hand drawn, every single one of them. Wow. So obviously Mark knows some people in some high places, because I couldn't get one guy to draw me one. He got 6,666 of them. But I think it's going to be, you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's for a good cause. And, you can flip them if you want to. If not, who cares? I mean, just do whatever you do. And I really think it's being that it's tied to a good cause, I get to stick my foot in the space and not be cheesy doing it. That was really my concern, is like to jump in and be like a money grab is not what I was looking for.
No, you're so right. We talk about this on the show a lot. We've seen different, celebrities and artists that have done things, and it seemed to be, like you were mentioning, that money grab aspect. But this is really great. You're commemorating something. You're doing something great. It's actually really cool. I was going to ask you your favorite. So my favorite is the one where there's a target, and I can't believe these are hand drawn. That's really impressive. My favorite is the one that's a target. Do you have a favorite BitBud for yourself? Maybe a favorite couple?
Ooh, I probably would say there's one where they modeled it after there was a girl in the Baby Got Back video that was near it like a seashell. She looked like a mermaid, and they drew a representation of that. That one I like a lot. But I know the lady that actually played that part. She's like, I'm buying that one. Please don't get it first. I'm like, I don't think you can get it. I think you gotta mind, baby. You can't just walk in and select it like you're at the store.
So we got the demand's already there. So I want to switch gears a little bit. We were talking pre-production a little bit about just the future of Web3 and artists and someone like yourself being on the forefront of creating an NFT for a good cause. What do you see in the future? If we look at a decade from now, where do you see this going, specifically for musicians and artists? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, personally, I think guys that are flipping art and making these astronomical profits, that's very cool, but not sustainable. At some point, that's going to get stale. So I do believe that the real power is in the blockchain. How an artist can control how the art is consumed. In other words, instead of trying to disseminate everything to the masses and then get called a complete sellout, what if you made something for your top 100 fans, your top 50 fans, excuse me, and you gave them something cool, flew them in for a concert, whatever. I think the blockchain allows you to do personable stuff like that. The record business is all about one thing: mass sales. That's it. That's it. And if you're not, if you're not selling 1 million records, then you're garbage or you're over. But you really think Mick Jagger needs to sell another million records? But I bet you his fans would really like if you picked the top 25 fans and you flew them in and had a meal with them and did all this stuff. That is what I think you'll be able to do in this space. It's very hard to do without something connected like Web3.
That makes a lot of sense. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your future plans. We talked about just what you already have got going on. Is there anything in the future that you haven't released yet that you can tell us about what you're working on?
Yeah, there's a brother named Carlos who we were talking about the real meaning of Baby Got Back. He didn't realize it wasn't just about butts. It's actually not. It was written at a time when African-American females were shapely, like hourglass, but that was not in. Everybody was supposed to be waif thin, heroin addict, that kind of thing. And it was really meant as a shot at that and a wink, wink, nod, nod piece of humor. And it worked because it got all the way to #1 at MTV. And once they found out what it was about, banned it immediately.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. They say, oh no, we banned it because people were offended. It was the most requested video on MTV at the time.
Wow.
That's not offensive. They did what they had to do. MTV's been known to do that. You go look at the old classic David Bowie interview where he questions them on that. He actually said, hey, Michael Jackson's selling more records than me. Why are you not playing him? That kind of thing. So there was some of that stuff, but it was the times. But the song is one of those songs where people that don't know what I'm talking about love it because they think I'm just talking about butts, and people that know what I'm talking about walk up and go, you, so it's one of those. Yeah, it was a lucky thing. A lot of people say I knew it was going to hit from day one. No, I didn't. Now Rick Rubin knew it was going to hit, but not me.
That's amazing, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So you work with Rick Rubin on that as well. That's amazing. One, you were ahead of your time now, because if you look at what's going on now, you are forefront, you're ahead of your time. And it seems like you're also ahead of your time with regards to Web3 and NFTs. So one, we thank you for joining the program. Is there any way, obviously people know where to find you, but is there any specific areas where you want people to tap into the BitButts project or whatever else you got going on?
Oh yeah, you can look up Sir Mix-a-Lot on Facebook. The Real Mix on Twitter, the Real Sir Mix-a-Lot on Instagram. People stole my name, you know how that goes. So you can catch me anywhere, and I do respond, even if your name is just Joe the Plumber, I respond. So
we appreciate that. Thank you for being down to earth and joining us. This was a wonderful interview. Learning so much from you in this space. We hope you can join us again.
Hey, anytime. Just say when.
Thank you.
Yo, that was a great interview, man.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So stoked that you got Sir Mix-a-Lot on the show. So pivoting from one superstar artist to another, The Weeknd is launching an NFT collection around his world tour. In another version of Fresh Mints, let's dive into a world tour that claims to be powered by Web3. All right, so his world tour, The Weeknd's world tour, begins in July. Did a kickoff in the United States and Canada. And The Weeknd has been in the NFT space since last year. So he's not just coming into it for a quick cash grab. He's been in the space. He's interested in it. He's partnering with Binance to launch an NFT collection. And the partnership will feature multiple NFT initiatives, as well as a philanthropy element to it. $2 million are going to be donated to The Weeknd's humanitarian fund. And as I was mentioning earlier, The Weeknd is also on the board of Tom Brady's autograph company, which is supposed to be an NFT company that Tom Brady founded a while back. So what do you guys think about The Weeknd launching an NFT project around his world tour? There's no utility around it exactly. There's not been much information on that right now, but like concert goers will have access to get this NFT. What do you guys think about The Weeknd doing it? Delon, what do you think?
Zaid, it kind of dawned on me during our last interview with Sir Mix-a-Lot, this commemoration of artists and be able to build a community. One, you can do that a few ways. And I think, a lot of these artists realize you can build a community, you can commemorate your tour, the things that you're doing. You can create something that's lasting and scarce. And, the technology within NFTs and blockchain is seemingly the way to do it. Now, everyone's still figuring out their best use strategy, but I think something like The Weeknd, a big artist, trying to do something around his tour and also giving money back to a cause he cares about, I think that's really, really cool. I think we're going to see more artists do that if this goes well.
Yeah, I agree. I think at first it feels like, oh, maybe it's some sort of marketing play. But at the end of the day, The Weeknd is a massive artist. He doesn't necessarily need that type of attention. He's going to get sold out stadiums everywhere, no matter if it's NFTs or just regular concert tickets. So maybe he just genuinely is really interested in the technology and interested in helping spread the word. And I think obviously like more of these pop cultural references that are intertwined with NFTs and the world of Web3 are just going to create more mass adoption, hopefully. So yeah, we'll see kind of how it goes.
Nicole, as you said, I mean, The Weeknd is, he's one of the biggest artists in the world right now. He doesn't need the NFTs to sell out concerts. And I don't think anyone's going to be going to a Weeknd concert just to get the NFTs. This is just like an additional perk that they get. And yeah, maybe they get enough utility. The fans that go to the concert that get these NFTs get enough utility out of it that maybe they'll go back to another concert, or maybe they'll engage with The Weeknd's content more, and maybe he can build a loyal fan base that way. So I'm interested to see like how other artists adopt it. There's a good way, there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it. I don't think it's a money grab like you were saying. I think you're right. I think he is interested in this space, and it's always good to like try branching off into like different avenues and technologies that are springing up. And this is one way of doing it. And if it's successful, I guarantee you other people are going to copy this model.
Mm-hmm. It also feels a little bit like artists are almost like in a race, and not necessarily in a bad way, but just like trying to keep up with the technological advances of our time. So that's kind of cool because now we have all these pop culture references attached to NFTs, and then also stemming to the finance world, and that's kind of awesome. I've never had folks talk about these things in the way that they are today. So more mass adoption, hey. Moving on to another big superstar, LeBron James is officially a billionaire. But how did he do it, and what can we learn from him? At only 37, he is the first active NBA player to make Forbes' billionaire list. And according to Forbes, LeBron racks in more than $1.2 billion in pre-tax earnings, more than $385 million in salary from the NBA. Wait, there's more. More than $500 million of that come from cash and investments. Along with Spring Hill, James made money from the sale of Beats by Dre to Apple in 2014 and has shares in fitness company Beachbody. There's another $90 million from Fenway Sports Group, which he was at one time a minority owner of Liverpool FC, but he exchanged that for an estimated 1% ownership stake in Fenway Sports Group. He has about $80 million in real estate holdings, including a $10 million mansion in Akron, Ohio, and 2 homes in the Los Angeles area, for which he paid a combined $59.75 million. He also has interests in the food and beverage industry that include a $30 million in pizza chain Blaze Pizza, which James bought a 10% stake in for less than $1 million in 2012. So, if that doesn't impress you, I don't know what can, because that is a lot. I think there's plenty to learn from him. He is so much more than just an NBA player. He is dabbing in so many other things. Oh my gosh. I love seeing him in movies and things. He's always very enjoyable in those. So anyways, LeBron James, such an icon.
Yeah, Nicole and Zayn, I can't be biased here because I'm a huge fan of LeBron James. You just ran down a list, and the thing that sticks out to me when you're talking about these high-earning athletes, right? The investments they make outside of the salary and the brand sponsorship is kind of that big differentiator. You're talking about those minority stakes and equity stakes in private businesses. Those are the big differentiator. You mentioned less than $1 million for the Blaze Pizza, and it's $30 million valuation now. So what's the return on investment there? So that's the thing that really sticks out to me. How do they do that? I think there's creating a strong team around them. He's got a team of core people that's working with him since the high school days, which, they're very well, are educated on how they're helping him in his brand and pushing his investments forward. So it's a big accomplishment. It's obviously something that someone that has to really work for it to accomplish that.
Man, I love LeBron. I love LeBron. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm a huge LeBron fan as well. I was like bitterly defending him when he moved to Miami from Cleveland the first time. Like, I've been a fan since. He's probably the first basketball player that I remember like watching from his rookie year, because I started watching basketball in 2003. I remember when he got drafted, and to see him, obviously, first of all, live up to the expectations, right? He was 16 years old on the cover of Sports Illustrated, deemed as the next Jordan. Imagine being 16 years old and having all that pressure. Not only did he live up to the expectations, he exceeded those expectations. This dude was driving a Hummer at 18 years old. He's had a $100 million Nike contract at 18 years old. And on top of that, he continued to expand his wealth. He got his friends from high school, Maverick Carter and Rich Paul, from his high school days to run his companies. They did an excellent job in turning his basketball career into an established brand and now $1 billion net worth. I mean, it's so impressive. And not to mention, to be one of the best players ever, right? Yep. One or two you can have depending on what generation you are. Like, that is a lot to do. He's avoided scandals. I mean, this guy is just a perfect role model, man. Like, I'm so impressed with LeBron. He opened up schools in Cleveland. Like to me, he's one of the best role models there are in sports. And the fact that he's gotten to $1 billion, I'm really happy for him. I think it's just a start. And I think you're right, Delano. It goes to show that, like, celebrities are now becoming wealthy from investments. It's cool to invest money now. I think it started with Jay-Z. He did it. I remember seeing pictures of Jay-Z and Warren Buffett getting lunch or getting breakfast. I think Jay-Z started this trend. P. Diddy started this trend, and now athletes are getting into it. These celebrities can have millions and millions of followers, and instead of just taking a brand deal, for a few million bucks, they're starting their own companies and selling directly to their audience, which is what LeBron is doing, which is what Rihanna is doing, who joined the 3 Comma Club earlier. Kim Kardashian, Kanye, all these people are doing it, and I'm really excited to see it. And man, shout out again to LeBron, man. Hopefully he gets one more championship. I know the Laker fans really want that to happen, but I'm just I'm a huge fan. I'm super stoked that he got there, and hopefully it's more.
He just announced that he's going to join a podcast soon. He said he tweeted that he may be joining a podcast. He may start his own. So if we can get him on the social network after that great commemoration that Zay just did, that could be
I can go through like his game logs. Like, I'm a huge fan. And I love the fact that he got to the 3 comma mark, and hopefully it's just the beginning.
Oh, this LeBron James Love Fest is really, really cute. I will say I think what stands out to me a lot is, and I don't know as much about him as you guys do, but I do love the aspect of him really creating that like close-knit foundation around him, right? I believe his wife has been with him since like college or high school, right? Yeah, since high school, like these close-knit people since high school. And he didn't come from a lot, right? He came from
single mother, poor, he was poor, growing up in Akron. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I know these things about him, and so it's cool to see, and I love that this is like a person that we can idolize that has so much good in him. So and is in the Billionaire Club. So I'm here for this one.
Before we wrap, Delano, have any of you guys seen him play live?
No, that is on the bucket list.
I got a chance to see him a couple years ago. It's incredible, man. Like I paid like a lot to like sit as close to the court as possible. I had to see him in person, and it's like, good Lord, it is insane. You see him, throw some dunks down and stuff. It's a totally different experience. So try to get him before he retires, man. Try to go watch him in person.
It's on my list.
Well, I mean, with this last bit of this show, maybe he'll join us and get you some exclusive tickets or something, because you've given a solid rundown there. Anyways, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. That does it for today's show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
We out.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in every day. Also hit that like, subscribe, and notification buttons. We'll see you tomorrow.